You know, I don't know. It's always better to win, you know, especially when you lose 3 in a row. You know, I knew before the game started that there was going to be a kind of a renewed confidence. It may take some time, and I thought a lot of the first half was just that. Not every player that was on the court, but you know, we didn't walk out there with our chest out, having won the Battle of Atlantis and being ranked in the top 5. We walked out there finishing in 8th place in the Battle of Atlantis, coming off of 3 losses in a row, I think for the first time 8, 9 years. And we had a number of guys that didn't play well, and you don't play well in 3 games in 3 days, you don't just snap your finger. But we really struggle to play with great effort. And I don't think that we're going to be very successful until that's fixed. You know, I have my fingers crossed that, you know, Raleigh can finish off here. We're at 9 weeks, and that we can get him back here in the near future. He's a really big part of our team, bigger than maybe any of us realized, because there's such a drop-off emotionally. There's such a drop-off physically without him that I think he'll fill a gap that no matter what the coach says or does, we're just going to be bigger, stronger, deeper, better, because we have a player of his capability who hasn't done anything yet. In the meantime, or even once he comes back, it's not like we're going to be great. There's going to be a work in progress. Guy hasn't played basketball in like 60-some days. So it's going to take him some time. But I am looking forward to that. You know, you're able to sit a couple guys on the bench and not play him at all. That's usually the medicine. And one of which is now you don't play the guy who doesn't play hard at all. And then if he does play, the only way he gets to play is if he plays with tremendous spirit, emotion, togetherness, fight, and we're a lifeless group a lot of times. I thought Parker did a good job in the second half there, like kind of injecting our team with life. A couple steals, played hard, got the ball out in transition, and broke the game open. And that's what we expect from him. But you know, other than that, did we need a game like this? Disappointed that you know, it's just kind of watching our team where we're at. I don't remember. We've had our moments over the last 6, 7 years where you watch a group, but I don't know if I've ever seen more of a group that just can't bring it, can't work, can't really fight defensively, and man, is it disappointing.
You done it like early in the second half, the defensive letdown? What specifically bothers you?
We don't play with effort. We had a hard time matching up in transition. They missed a lot of free throws, which helped our cause. You have to rotate the right way. You got to be where you're supposed to be. You have to pressure the ball. Can't get beat. You know, it's like driveway basketball. Check, you get the ball, I'm on defense. Can't go around me. Sometimes it's just that. But our problems aren't one-dimensional. Our problems are forever. We protect the rim. Block the shot. Guy comes in, smash the shot off the glass, go the other way. Draw a charge. Jump up. Make him call foul when you go straight up. Jumping wall up, right? Play hard. Pick and roll defense. It's like be where you're supposed to be. Do it every single time, not 3 out of 4 times. Do it 15 times in a row. That's what you're supposed to do. And, you know, I don't know if anyone here ever gave Kadeem Allen enough credit, but where you should really give him credit is right now, because without him, it's like, man, it's pulling teeth right now, because he is so unselfish. He's such a hard-playing guy. He was so talented defensively that you couldn't help but raise your level because of how hard he played. And we've been blessed to have a lot of teams like that. A couple years back with TJ, Rondé, a couple years back, you know, Aaron Gordon, Stanley Johnson, Kyle Fogg became that guy. And, you know, it's just, thing about defense, no one yells over the microphone, good basket. No one in the media a lot of times is going to talk about you. But defensively, man, that is the biggest gap right now we have to jump up from.
And Parker, he kind of showed a little bit of that, like you mentioned. Can he be that guy, you think, long term?
He just has to be the best he can be, and he certainly can't. If he's not playing great defense, playing with tremendous effort, if he's not in the right spot, he's the floor general, so it really affects everybody. But like I said, I give him credit. You know, he had 5 assists, 1 turnover. That's what he does really well. 5 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 2 from 3. Great to see him shoot the ball. But we need him to really set the tone. And when you pick and choose on defense, and you're not like the most talented group, you're going to win a few, and you're certainly going to lose a few, especially on the road, especially against the best teams on our schedule. to be a team that can win on the road, beat the best teams on our schedule, we have a gap that right now is miles away to get where we're supposed to be on defense. Every red-blue game that I've been here for 9 red-blue games, I answer the same question after the game. How are you going to keep everybody happy? The second question is this one of your most talented teams you've had? And then usually about 3 or 4 weeks later, reality strikes. And I think the reality for us is we're not that talented. We have to play really, really, really hard. We have one guy who I would say not a lot of people have ever seen a guy like that walk in the door, DeAndre. DeAndre's a freshman. And where he has the most to learn, as does all of our freshmen, is on the defensive side. So while we're working on that, we need a couple of our veterans, and we need guys that have been here and done it before to really embody the qualities of playing hard, playing together, being in the right spot.
Sean, did you see what you just said 2-3 weeks ago? I mean, before you start, not maybe in the 3-game stretch where you started, but before you went to the Bahamas, and this could be a problem?
A little bit, but certainly I saw some things and we tried to correct them. I brought it up to you guys. You know, we gave up 15 made threes or 14 made threes to UMBC. They're a good three-point shooting team, but it was fairly easy for them to make threes. You know, NAU, who struggled since our game, they shot 30 free throws. But, you know, when you have a score, it's like tonight, when you win 91-56, you know, it's easy to say, man, the coach is a madman, you know, get off my back. But until you go and play against real competition and you're away from home and you really are playing against these really good coaches, older players. There's a guy, Dakota Mathias, who plays for Purdue. No one even talks about him. He's a stud. He is an animal. Does it on defense, does it on offense. And you know what? You know, Matt Painter, when he runs his offense, he almost runs it through him so he can pass the ball to the post. There's sometimes you say pass the ball to the post, it's like, come on, coach. Why do I have to throw it in there? But when you play against a group like that, you understand the value. And I think that our roles will be more defined as we keep moving forward. We're not Purdue because we have a very young group, especially without Raleigh. But the emotional level, the ability to connect with each other on defense, to give great maximum effort throughout the game, and then be in the right spot. You know, nobody's going to give them one of those Buckeyes you put on your football helmet for being in the right spot. That's what you're supposed to do. Do it every day, and then move on. And this is Arizona. This is what we try to be like. And when you're not like it, you know what, you're going to lose a few, and that's not the goal.
Would it be easier for them to learn that if they struggled offensively at home because they've been so efficient offensively here at McHale? Maybe would it be easier for them to learn that defensive lesson if they didn't shoot 60% every game?
Yes and no. I mean, we had our times on offense, even in the Bahamas, where we played some good basketball. But, you know, offense, I don't care what team it is, none of us are going to be as smooth as we'll be a month or two from now. It really starts to even out as everybody keeps practicing and playing games. You see, like, the best of college basketball's offense late in the year. But here at the beginning, you know, our offense will be fine. I think that we have a couple guys that can really score. You know, for example, we've been a great free throw shooting team until we went to the Bahamas. We usually take care of the ball, but we had 2 turnovers at the half. We had 10 in the second half. First 4 minutes of the second half, we didn't try. And we don't have room for error. When you do that, you'll do it again, and when you do it again on the road, you do it again against a better team, they're going to go on a big run, and that big run inevitably will do you in. So I think for us, it starts with consistent 40 minutes, 2.5 hours effort. And then once that's established, I think some of the other things that our team will be good at really start to shine, and we'll have a lot of success. But we have a longer way to go in that area than I had hoped, and you know, maybe it starts with a guy like Parker. We'll see, but we'll go from there. But you know, I bring Raleigh up because I know he's part of the solution. I know that.
These concerns more on your mind now? You're going back on the road, a neutral game, and then road again. I mean, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not scared to lose. I mean, we could lose every game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of athletics. That's all part of it. If you get real tight and all of a sudden you can't tie your tie because you're worried about losing, then you're not going to be a very effective leader or coach. So We could lose. We could lose the next 2 games for sure. We could lose 6 in a row. We've lost 3 in a row. But it's really not where I'm at or where we're at as a group. It's about establishing a way of doing things every day. How hard are you working? How hard are you working in practice? How does it carry into a game? You know, the mistakes that we point out and we're really watching and carefully coaching, can we see some improvement from the last game to this game? And over time, that will win out, especially if you have some talent. And we have talent, we're not overwhelming. We're not overwhelming. You know, I talked to our guys in the huddle, you know, when I was watching the Bahamas games, you know, we could only watch the TV copy, and I kept seeing the number 3 recruiting class in the country pop up on the screen like 75 times. And, you know, I find myself saying, where'd you go? Where did you go? It's like the race starts all over again in college. Just because you were ranked such and such in 11th grade, no one cares. There's a guy from SMU, starting 5-man freshman, he wore a headband. Thank God he got in foul trouble in the first half. I think he was in the Rivals top 700. He's really good. Like, if you watch him, he has a chance to be in the NBA. It doesn't matter where you were ranked before you show up here. The ranking should be done how they perform in their careers. And look, like Solomon Hill, you can't judge Solomon just on his first year, his freshman year. I'm not saying you judge everybody in November of their freshman year. That's not what I'm saying. But we're counting on this class to be a big reason our team's good, and you have to perform. You don't have to score 20. You don't have to get 20 and 10. You know, DeAndre speaks for himself, but you have to be confident. You have to do your job. We have to be able to count on you day in, day out, game in, game out, by getting better and giving great effort. And that creates energy, and that creates a depth, and that creates excitement, because wherever a freshman is in November, they're going to keep improving. We know that. But where's their starting point? Are we going to improve to the point where in the Pac-12 we have a couple of these freshmen, man, they're some of the best freshmen in the conference? Or are we starting where so low that let's hope once we get to the Pac-12 that they can just make a few positive plays? But, you know, when I was at Xavier, Skip Prosser, he had a great saying. It's like, you know, everybody dresses up for trick or treat and goes and gets candy. In basketball and in college basketball, just because you put the uniform on doesn't mean you get to play. Yeah. And I think we have to establish, we may play 6 or 7 players because we have to go on effort. We have to go on doing things the right way every day, doing things in the game the right way, playing both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And just because you were ranked a certain level, or even some of our other guys, just because in the past you started and played 32 minutes, doesn't mean you're going to start and play 32 minutes just because you did that last year. It's a brand new season. And we need guys playing with their heart and soul, playing with great effort. If we go to UNLV and we pick and choose how hard we play, and, you know, we're trying to figure it out, we're not going to win. Our only hope is to play with great effort. And if we play with great effort and we lose, we'll keep getting better. Keep getting better. And that's so much right now of where we're at. You know, we had enough evidence in the Bahamas that a big part of our failure was inconsistent effort on defense. And we're trying to fix that. And it's not like nice giving everybody a hug when you walk in when you're trying to fix that. That is the hardest thing to do as a coach, is to get a group of guys to buy in to play hard when they're not.
There's a theory that sometimes when you have bad losses, maybe you try and build the guys back up, and after a win, maybe you tear them down a little bit. Is that maybe what you're doing a little bit to, now that you've won a game, and to tell these guys some of these messages, or is it?
No, I mean, it's just not glass half empty, half full. It's just the truth. The players only understand the truth. If you say that's okay, fellas, they know you don't mean it. We judge ourselves by the standards of our program. Everybody in here knows what those standards are. Everybody knows what we're trying to accomplish, including the players. Every one of our players wants to play in the NBA. Most of our younger players think this spring they're going to go into the NBA. You have to be able to run full speed, turn your body, point, talk, and match up on defense. There's a progression here. Again, just because you come to Arizona, it's like that trick or treat analogy, doesn't mean you get to play in the NBA. It's about doing things the right way, playing with amazing effort and energy, doing it every day with no excuses, next day, next day, next day. And then you make a couple shots, great things happen, you see younger players grow, but that's the foundation and starting point. I think our effort's terrible.
Along those lines, Sean, because you might be going to the bench more often or whatever, how important is the playing time that the kids, the younger kids will get to help or to learn?
No question. Hey, look, don't get me wrong. Every time that those freshmen get an opportunity to practice, every time they get an opportunity to play in a game, learn from the game, so in other words, teaching them after the game, man, they have a big upside. But you want to see every game and every week them grow a little bit. And I'm not blaming our freshmen. I love our freshmen. They have a great effort. They've had a great attitude. We're counting on them. But you also have to include performance too. And I think that they're a big part of our team's identity this year. There's 5 of them. And we really need all 5 of them to be good. And by the way, we need our returning players to be good and set the tone. And hopefully we can get Raleigh back and really take off.
You obviously you're upset, but if you are who you are, is that who they are in terms of effort or whatever? Because you've seen it for a while now.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see. Now, there's a lot. We're early on here, and I think that's one thing that eventually we'll get right. And when we do, a lot of, I think, positives will follow. But I don't see a lot of positives coming until that's established. How hard are you willing to play, and are you willing to give of yourself defensively? And look, there's no coach who doesn't believe it, and if there is one, he's not very good. You know, so we're trying to be better.
Sean, as you said, that's probably the most difficult thing to coach because there's nowhere to draw that up on a whiteboard effort. So is using the bench as motivation going to be your friend?
That's one thing, and you know, practice as well. You know, they practices and go a lot of different ways, and you know, sometimes, you know, just so you guys know, our practices weren't negative coming out of the Bahamas. I mean, we took an approach of really trying to learn from our experience. I mean, we demanded a defense, but it isn't like everyone was kicking balls around the gym and running every time they made a mistake. It was about being the most ready that we can be for Long Beach State, knowing that we had a lot of work to do on defense and on offense, but especially on defense. And then we got to the game, and I thought at times we were okay, but I expected more. I expected more.